Okay, here's how you go about handing in a project. You go to your location in your computer where your project is fully done. And in this case, we're going to look at the coupons folder. In this case, you have your auxiliary files, which we never touch. You have the coupon or whatever project you're working on with its revisions, but you also have these other two files. One is what I call code salvage. This is basically your latest and greatest copies of your code. As you write the program, you're going to have code that you're going to enter, and if your system crashes and you have a copy of your code, the amount of work to recover is minimized. I say it's about 80% recovered just because you have a copy of your code. So I'm going to require you to copy a code every time you do a revision, get an upgrade of your code. We'll go through this in class. The next part of your code is that as you write every line of code, you have to write a comment on the code as to what the code does. Be absolutely sure that you're doing this throughout the entire course. I'll be reminding you about this during the course as we go along. So that's a copy of your code salvage. The next part is another document file which will contain all correspondence between you and me. When you hand in something and I evaluate it and hand it back with comments, you are to place those comments in here. Your responses to those comments will also be here. You also add to this list any features that you have in your program that you want me to evaluate. I created a new exit button, and this is how it works. I will place comments and you send them back. At the bottom of this page, you are also to put a copy of your code. There's only to be one copy of the latest code in this text, and that will be at the bottom. And of course, you should keep your revisions in a packet. Now, method of handing in. All too often, people are sending me in just this one file. It's only a copy of your form. You need the auxiliary files. I've said this before, but I bet we'll get people to hand them in wrong. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to come out to the outer folder, send to, compressed, and this is what you're going to send me. Now here's a little interesting tidbit about this. If you use this to transport the files to your home computer, you can double click on it and you can open it up and you can see your program, but when you go to run it, you're going to get errors. This is because this file is still compressed. Even though you go in and look at it, you're still going into a compressed file. You have to uncompress this file to make it work. And the method to do that is drag the old ones out of here. Copy, backplace, paste. Now we're going to run into a problem, I think. Yeah, because we already have two in there. So if you didn't have the initial one in here, you could simply copy and paste and you would end up here, and now you're outside of the zipped folder. So you could actually get this. As you unzip it, you can now make these work because they're no longer zipped. And that's about it for handing in a file. You can zip it, it can be attached to an email message, you can go into Moodle, depends on how I want the assignment to be handed in.